Welcome to M Scholar. M Scholar is your channel that promises to bring you content in all aspects of human endeavor, to bring in information that you might not be very familiar with or that you are having issues comprehending. As I posted a few days back, I promise that I'll be bringing you content in mathematics, physics, and electronics. So if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please do so. Hit the subscribe button, comment on this video, share with your friends and colleagues so that they also will benefit from the content that I drop. You may as well hit and put on the notification button so that as soon as I share content, you will be the first to get it. Today we want to discuss quadratic equation. Quadratic equations are second order polynomials in mathematics, and so many students have had issues with this topic, and I want to break it down. As a person who has spent so many years teaching mathematics in secondary schools around Nigeria, I think I have what it takes to break it down to the simplest form, in the same way I made my students to like mathematics to the extent that at least two of them had to proceed to the university to study mathematics just because of the inspiration, according to them, that they got from the way I taught the subject. So today I will be discussing quadratic equations. The usual representation of quadratic equations is as follows. The typical representation of quadratic equation is as you see. It is ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0, where a, b, and c are known numbers, as you can see. Now, there are several ways by which quadratic equations can be solved. I will mention at least 3 of them. The first is by factorization method, while the second is through the formula method, which we know in Nigeria as the almighty formula. And then the third that I would like to talk about is the graphical method. I will not fail to mention also that there is one we refer to as the method of completing the square. But I will present 3 of them, or all 4 of them, one after the other. So in order to demonstrate how quadratic equations are solved using the method of factorization, I will bring up an example. And as you can see, the example I have is x squared plus 4x minus 12 equal to 0. So we will be demonstrating how to solve this particular equation using the factorization method. Factorization method means that you will locate the middle variable, which is 4x in this case, and you will think about 2 factors whose sum will give you 4, or simply 4x, and whose product will give you minus 12. Let us demonstrate such factors. Now, a typical example of the factors that can give us what we want is 6x and 2x. But at this time, you will discount the x's behind the 6 and 2 and focus only on the integers. So 6 times 2 will give us 12, and then 6 minus 2 will give us 4. So don't forget that in mathematics, when we say sum can deal with negative numbers as well as positive numbers. So when we write 6x and minus 2x, that will be the 2 factors that we desire. Now this means that positive 6 summed up with negative 2 will give you a positive 4, and positive 6 multiplied by negative 2 will give you a negative 12. So we will now go ahead and insert our factors in the place of the 4x that we had initially. So when we do that, it becomes 6x plus x squared plus 6x minus 2x minus 12 is equal to 0. So this is what we have. Then the next thing we need to do now is to factorize. Since we now have 4 elements on the left hand side of the equality sign, then we will factorize. In factorizing, we will now have 2 brackets, making sure that the 2 brackets that we are going to have will have the same elements inside of them, just like this: x plus 6 in a bracket and x plus 6 in a bracket. Next, we will now see from the above what can you find that is the common element between x squared and 6x. That is an x. Then what is common between minus 2x and 12? That is minus 2. So you will now place those 2 elements right outside the brackets so that it becomes x into x plus 6 in bracket minus 2 into x plus 6 in bracket equal to 0. This can help you to reform your this line of the equation. If you expand this line, you are going to get back this line. So next, now you will pick one out of these 2 brackets to represent it, and then these other 2 elements, that's x and minus 2, will now be used to form the second bracket in your bid to know what the value of x is in this equation. Just like this x was used to is this one, and this negative 2 is this. Either of these 2 were picked to represent the 2 of them, which give us this, and this is now simply equal to 0. What this means is x minus 2 and x plus 2 is equal to 0. This therefore means that x minus 2 is equal to 0, or x plus 6 is equal to 0. Solving that means that x is equal to 2, which is positive 2, or x is equal to negative 6. Negative 6 because this positive 6 moved over this equality sign, and so you have a negative number. This one is positive because this negative 2 moved over this equality sign over to this side, and it became a positive 2. So this is the solution to your quadratic equation. It means that it's either you, in this initial equation that we have here, is either you use 2 as x, or you use 6 negative 6 as x. The result will give you 0. So let us check. If we say where x is equal to 2, for instance, we say 2 raised to the power of 2 in the initial equation plus 4 into 2 minus 12. Let's see what it gives. 4 squared is equal to 4. 2 squared is equal to 4 plus 4 times 2 is equal to 8. When we subtract 12 from this number, what are we going to get? 4 plus 8 is 12. And then we subtract 12 from this. This gives us 0. which is the very solution that the equation depicted right from the onset. Can you try the second portion where you use minus 6 to represent x in this equation? If yes, drop the solution in the comment section. God bless you.